Hello there, friends and followers, and welcome to this live stream. This is Q8 Pilot, your host for today's show. For all my friends and followers from the United States, happy 4th of July. Today we are going to be taking a second look at the Piper 28161 Warrior 2 by Just Flight. I've done a preview video of this aircraft a couple of days ago, and I felt that I did not really do justice in that preview video. So today I decided to take a closer look in this live format with you folks. I want to welcome Saz, Flight Master, and Shoto. Hello there, my friends, and welcome to the stream. Today we're going to be doing a short flight. We are currently situated at Arlington Municipal Airport in the United States. And we are going to be flying to Seattle, Washington. And it's a very short flight, about 40 nautical miles or so. And we are also going to be using the GTN 750 device by PMS50.com. I've purchased the lifetime subscription for 75 euros, and we're going to be taking a look. I thought it was a good opportunity to showcase that device as well, and of course it integrates beautifully with the Just Flight fleet of aircraft, the Warrior, the Turbo Arrow, and the Arrow 3. So let's get things started. Rand, hello there, my friend, and welcome. We've got Hurricane Twister. Hello there, my friend. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, everyone. Glad to have you all with me. And Rand, happy 4th of July if you just joined, and the same goes to all my friends and followers in the US of A. All right, so if you haven't seen my first or my preview video of this aircraft, again, Just Flight, of course, have modeled this aircraft down to the rivet. Everything has been modeled to look exactly like the real Piper 28 Warrior 2, and I kind of like this aircraft a little better than the Turbo Arrow, or the Arrow 3 and the Turbo Arrow. For some reason, I find myself liking this aircraft a bit more. Just kind of matter of preference. It is more classic. And it's probably the base model, so this is probably the first of the three that came into production. I could be wrong about that, is my hunch. It does not have the retractable landing gear, so those are fixed. All right, so as you can see, the exterior modeling is done beautifully by Just Flight. Very detailed model, just like all the sister aircraft. And let's go ahead and hop into the cockpit. Again, beautifully modeled cockpit all around, nice attention to details all around. You can see the scratches here, nice panel work. You can see a little bit of dirt there. There is that, definitely, you can see the scratches here, giving the aircraft the old look. Really, Just Flight has built a name for themselves, I think, in the flight simulation arena. And that goes for X-Plane as well. If you haven't used X-Plane, or if you have used X-Plane, beg your pardon, they've got the BAE 146, BAE, beg your pardon, 146, which is a fantastic aircraft by Just Flight, and they've got many others as well, both for P3D, X-Plane, and Microsoft Flight Simulator. So multi-platform, very talented development team without a doubt. Let's go ahead and start things up here. I'm going to bring up the flight plan so that you guys can take a look. It's a very short plan, very simple. We're going to take off today, Arlington Municipal, runway 34. We're going to fly direct to Zetki, direct to Wummel, direct to Keno, direct to Helzer, direct to Carfo, direct to Douglas, and then we're going to land runway 16 left at Seattle Tacoma International Airport, and we are going to be performing an ILS approach at Seattle. Our final cruise altitude, according to our sim brief plan today, is 3,000 feet. So let's get things started. First and foremost, by the way, if you see a lot of things, then it's supposed to show that. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna have to edit that part out after the stream, I guess. And then I've got the Garmin device as well here, which says here you already have the GTN 750 in the cockpit. Now, if you install the basic GTN 750, you will not get this option, but this is the full version, and the full version allows you to install it in the toolbar as well. And I've got also the pushback. Someone was asking me about this. This is an add-on available at flightsim.io. You can download it. It's free, and I think it's pretty good. So those are the three additional elements that you see in my toolbar. So we are going to go to the checklist. And again, I like the fact that Just Flight has built in a fully integrated checklist. Of course, I've done some of it here just in the interest of time. We've done the pre-flight exterior, and we've done the interior as well, and we are ready for the before engine start. So let's go ahead and do just that. We want to make sure the circuit breakers are all in. And by the way, the circuit breakers are modeled on this aircraft, as you can see. Dougal, hello there, my friend, and welcome. Glad to have you with us. Lewis, hello there, my friend, and welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. And of course, the carburetor heat is on cold, so we're gonna just go back here. And as you can see, the carb heat is on cold. That's done. Fuel selector is on the fullest tank. We've got equal amount of fuel in each of the tanks, and we've got about 50%. So it doesn't really matter which one, left or right. Both have exactly the same amount of fuel. So next thing, we can say autocomplete. Everything is done here, and we're going to go to the engine start. Now we've got warm engine and cold engine. The current temperature, if we consult here, let's look at the weather details. Temperature is 18 Celsius, so it's kind of, you know, it's considered okay. It's not, you know, it is a cold engine, of course, because we haven't flown the aircraft. So we're going to go with the cold engine here, and we're going to just follow the checklist. And let's make sure that the mixture is on lean. And it says throttle 1/2 inch open. Battery switch is on, which it is now. Alternator is on. And navigation lights on. Auxiliary boost pump is on. Mixture is rich. And then we're going to go to clear prop. So you can open the window here and just go out and say clear prop. And we're going to close the window, and we are good to go. We're going to switch the magnetos to both. And there you go. We have a good start. Throttle adjust to 1200 RPM. It's about right there. Just going to take it a bit down. There we go. 1200 RPM. Oil pressure. Let's check all our gauges here. We can see the fuel pressure. Oil pressure is in the green. Fuel pressure is in the green. Oil temp, obviously the engine is still pretty cool. We've got equal amount of fuel in each tanks, about 1200 RPM or so. Also, all amps are good. Everything is looking good here. And we're just going to say evaluation.
Throttle.
Open
1/2 inch.
Oh, come on.
Battery switch.
All right. So the next thing is taxiing. So before we do the taxiing, landing light as required, what I want to do is we're going to go to the avionics master. The avionics master is located right here. So we're going to turn that on, and you get your beautiful Garmin device initializing. This is, again, the PMS50 GTN 750. Now, I'll tell you guys, you can get a lot of the features that you get here with the free version. I opted for the paid version because I wanted to show you guys its features. Some things don't work as advertised, but we're going to take a look at that in a minute. So let's go ahead and turn this on. We'll turn this on, and we're going to make sure that, let me just go to map here real quick, that this is on GPS. All right. So first, let's enter our flight plan. There, we're going to play a little bit with this device here. Let's go to flight plan, and we're going to set the origin airport, which is Kilo Alpha Whiskey Oscar. That's Arlington Municipal Airport. Enter, and we're going to set our destination to Seattle, which is Kilo Sierra Echo Alpha. That's Seattle Tacoma International. We're going to enter that, and we're going to bring up our Sim Toolkit Pro plan here, and we're going to enter so insert after, and we are going to enter Z key. All right, and enter, and then we're going to say insert after, and we're going to enter WOML, and enter that, and then from WOML we're going to say insert, and we're going to enter Kenmo, and enter that. From Kenmo we're going to go to Helzer, so we're going to say Kenmo, insert after, and then Helzer, and enter. Is that right? Yeah. And then we're going to insert after that Carfo, and enter. All looking good. And then from Carfo to Douglas, insert, and it's Delta Golf Lima Alpha Sierra, and enter. And that's it. We are set now. We are ready to go. And if we go now to back and go to the map, you can see here, we can take a look at the map here. So this is what things look like. It's pretty much a straight in into Seattle runway 16 left. We'll worry about the frequency and everything else later on. We're going to enter a transponder code of 2000, and we're going to say enter. Let's go and turn this on, and we'll go back. All right, so a few things to show you guys here within this Garmin device. Let me put this away. If we go back, one of the nice things is the charts. So you can immediately get the charts for, now of course you have to have a Navigraph subscription in order for this to work properly. But I think it's a nice addition to this Garmin device, and of course it is available in the premium version only. And you can either opt to go for a subscription, which is going to cost you 25 euros per year, or you could buy a lifetime subscription for 75 euros, which is the option that I opted for. Or you could continue to use the basic version, but it will not have integration with Navigraph charts. Now you can go here and select, as you can see here, you can select the airport info. In our case, for example, let's go ahead and select the approaches, and we're going to select, we're going to go here, and this is ILS runway 16 left. So you will get the chart right here. We can, of course, zoom in, and as you can see, it says straight in from WOML. Those are the waypoints that we've entered, and we're going to intercept the ILS, and the frequency is 110.3. We can set that decimal 110.3. We can set that here 110.3. decimal 3, and we enter that, and now that's the standby frequency. As we get closer to Seattle, we can switch this frequency to the active to intercept the ILS. All right. Other stuff, you've got your terrain, so you have, and then you can also select, what you want to show on the terrain menu. You've got the weather, which unfortunately doesn't work. So this is the weather radar, but it doesn't work, and you have to have a subscription to AvWix, I believe, something like that, which I've done, but unfortunately doesn't work. So yeah, it just simply doesn't work. So and you can go horizontal or vertical, whichever way you like, but unfortunately, yeah, it doesn't really work. So so that's that. All right, so other stuff, of course, we've seen the charts, flight plan, procedures, nearest airport. Again, they advertise that this is something that works with the premium version. Unfortunately, it doesn't work as of yet. I'm not sure if this is something planned, but at the moment, it doesn't work. Waypoint information. That information you get, which is kind of cool. And then you've got, your NDBs and what have you. Utilities, you've got VNAV, target altitude, type, VS profile, all of that is available for you. And you can say also display message, so it actually displays the message on the screen for you. What else is there? System, of course, is for entering your license and adjusting the backlight, checking the status, and things like that. So that is that. This is our flight plan. We're going to zoom in a little bit, and we're going to taxi to the runway now. So the if we look here, avionics master, avionics is on, radios are set, transponder is set, altimeter setting, we can just hit the magic button, which is the B button, to set the altimeter, which is now set. Taxi area is clear. Brakes, test on moving, we'll do that. Flight, instrumentation, avionics, check, everything is correct. Right, let's go and set the parking brake, release the parking brake, and we're going to taxi to the runway. You can see the windsock here, that the wind is calm. If we look at the electronic flight bag here, it says, let's go back there. So headwind component is 1 knot, no crosswind, so you can see that things, kind of drifting there. Things are pretty calm, so it should be a rather straightforward takeoff out of Arlington. We're going to climb and maintain 3,000, and we get to use the autopilot as well today. We've got Matty. Hello, Matty. Welcome to the stream, my friend. David. Hello, David. No ATC today. This is a preview of, or a second look, if you will, at the Piper 28 Arrow. I think. Oh, just look at that grass. It just looks fantastic. I believe that's our takeoff runway. Let's, yeah, runway 34. Perfect. All right. So let's head back here. We're going to turn on our landing lights. We're going to turn on the pitot heat. And let's bring up our checklist here, make sure that we haven't forgotten anything. I'm going to skip this check here and make sure, assume that everything is okay. We're going to go to the before takeoff. Battery is on, alternator is on, strobe lights are on. Yep. Let's see. Auxiliary boost pump is on. Fuel selector is on the fullest tank. Engine gauges are checked. Mixture is full rich. Primer is locked. By the way, we didn't have to prime. This is the primer, by the way. And we didn't have to prime the aircraft. And let's go ahead and set the flaps for departure. Cabin door is closed and latched. We can check that over here. And we can see that it is latched. And we are now ready for departure. Perfect. Takeoff, we of course release the parking brake, full throttle. We're going to maintain the axis airspeed indicator. We're going to rotate at 55 knots. Initial climb, accelerate to 78 knots. Flaps up above 300 feet. And the airspeed best rate of climb is about 89 knots. All right, let's go. Parking brake released. I love the sounds on this aircraft, and just all the Just Flight aircraft are just done so well. I've tried their aircraft for X-Plane, for P3D, and now for Microsoft Flight Simulator. All right, that's the departure runway. So we're going to fly and then make a turn because our flight plan is in the opposite direction. All right, folks, we are cleared for takeoff. And we're going to give it full throttle. And rotate at about 55 knots. There we go, rotate. And we are about so we'll wait for 300 feet. All right, and we're gonna crack the flaps, so flaps are up. And our final cruise altitude again today is 3,000 feet. I want to welcome all of you guys who joined the stream. All right.
Approach Piper Juliet Foxtrot 2575 is type Piper Warrior 2 miles north of Kilo Alpha Whiskey.
All right, here we go. Let's begin our turn.
Request flight following.
Piper Juliet Foxtrot 2575 with the approach. Squawk 0017.
Squawk 0017 Piper 575.
That is a nice view for you guys.
Piper 575 radar contact 2 miles north of Kilo Alpha Whiskey, Oscar 1000 feet. Altimeter tree 0.01.
Roger Piper 575.
All righty.
Piper 575 contact.
And we're going to now continue our climb to 3,000 feet. Tell you, I really enjoy flying this aircraft.
118.2
The sounds are very immersive. It feels good. It flies well. Very, very fluid aircraft.
Piper Juliet Foxtrot 2575 with the approach. Altimeter tree 0.01. Continue to 90 as planned.
All right. So what we can do at this point is we can engage the autopilot, but I think we'll just hand fly the aircraft for a while. Let's remove the yoke here. We can see we're still in the green. All our gauges are good. Everything's looking good here. All right, let's bring up the checklist and climb. So auxiliary boost pump is off, and landing light as required. Elevator trim set, and we're gonna lean above 3,000 feet. So since we are actually going to cruise at 3,000 feet today, we're gonna lean as soon as we reach our final cruise altitude, and then we can use the autopilot for the remainder of the flight. We're a bit off the flight path here. By the way, the aircraft is pretty easy on the frames, so really no degradation in performance with this aircraft. I can probably take a look at the counter here to get a measure. I'm getting about 40, 42, 40 FPS right now. All right, we're approaching 3,000 feet. We are looking good. And not too far, by the way, from Seattle. Yes, Rand, I completely agree with you. They really make very good aircraft. All right, we're coming up to 3,000. We're going to decrease our rate of descent, of climb, beg your pardon. All right, there we go. We're going to hold it at 3,000. Set the trim a little bit. That's too much. All right. Now we're going to turn on the autopilot, altitude hold, and nav. Autopilot works exactly as advertised. And we are at 3,000 or so. So we're going to lean the mixture a bit. And we want about, let's see here. I'm going to reduce power here a little bit. Perfect. All right, we're going to maintain our current altitude, speed, heading, everything. And we are not too far from Seattle. So if we look here at our flight plan, here, let me bring this up for you guys so you can see it. And we can probably zoom out a bit. So that's what things look like here. And this is Seattle right there. Beautiful scenery. Look at that, folks. So we've got a question. Yeah, exactly, Jonathan. The Piper Warrior does not have a retractable landing gear. So yeah, it is fixed gear for the Warrior 2. Are these standard cockpit colors? Yes, those are standard Just Flight cockpit colors. This is what ships with the aircraft out of the box. Just really amazing scenery in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Try simple realistic shader mod, makes the colors more natural. Well, thank you very much for the advice. I will try to remember that. Simple realistic. What's your opinion comparing the Warrior to the Arrows? Thanks. Well, Stan, hello there, my friend. How's it going? Is this real? Yes, this is real live weather. We can double check that. Let's see here. So that's live weather, and the time is also live. We're flying in live weather, live time, live everything. Yeah. So how do they compare? Well, I think they are very similar aircraft. They're all Piper 28s. Now, it depends on your preference. Of course, the turbo is probably a little more advanced, and maybe it came at a later time. Personally, I prefer this aircraft over the Piper Turbo and the Arrow 3. Don't ask me why, I just prefer this one. I think it's more classic. Glad you're doing okay, Stan. Glad to hear it, my friend. Right, let's switch to external view. Looks lovely. So tomorrow evening, I know tomorrow is a Monday evening for me, but I promised you guys that I will be doing a live stream of the recently updated Flight Factor 767-SF. So that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow, and we're going to be doing a flight from Kilo Lima Alpha November to Chicago O'Hare International. We're going to be flying UPS, and that's a real world flight route for UPS. It should be an interesting flight. I've done a couple of tests just to make sure, you know, the airports have no errors and things like that. But yeah, I'm excited actually to do the stream tomorrow night in X-Plane. There are some really nice previews being published on YouTube by Laminar Research, showcasing the new stuff. It looks like an Airbus A340 is going to be part of the default lineup for X-Plane. I'm not sure if it's X-Plane 11 or X-Plane 12, but in the next update, hopefully, we're going to see an Airbus A340. Excuse me. So definitely Laminar is feeling the heat, folks, and they're definitely, you know, making some improvements. One was the lighting engine, which I'm sure a lot of you have seen the videos on YouTube, and then the Airbus A340 coming into play. So was it a 330 or a 34? I believe it was an A340 with the 4 engines. So yeah, I'm excited. P3D recently updated P3D version 5 to 5.2, bringing a lot of improvements to performance and enhancements to the volumetric clouds and the overall depiction of the atmosphere. By the way, I've done, a lot of you guys have been asking me to do, I think it's an A330, yeah, probably. Good evening, Pilot Peely. Hello there, my friend. I'm doing very well, thanks for asking. Welcome to the stream, my friend. So I've downloaded the FS Labs A320, and I went ahead and purchased the expansion, which is the Sharklet version. And it's got the only difference, of course, I can see is the what do you call it? The EFB. So now, instead of going to the McDo, when you're in a cold, one of the things when you're in a cold and dark state, you know, you have to power up the FMC by holding to power it up and then connect the GPU. Now there's an electronic flight bag where you can actually connect all the services to the aircraft. Amazingly, the aircraft is very performance friendly, and I was actually shocked that it was, you know, less demanding on the computer resources than the PMDG 777. Back in the days in P3D version 4, I recall that the FS Labs was an aircraft that required a lot of resources, far more than the PMDGs of the world. But this one was actually pretty good. It behaves very well, and let me tell you, the sounds on that on the FS Labs is just absolutely stunning. Really, an aircraft that is well modeled, and of course they're using PBR. There will be a video. I'm not sure if it's going to be a live stream or a recorded video yet, but there's a lot to show in the FS Labs, and I know a lot of you guys are interested and have been asking me to do flights aboard the FS Labs. So that is coming very soon. How is the Warrior? Love this aircraft. Well, that makes two of us, Pilot Peely. I love this aircraft as well. We've got Pilot A340. Hey, Q Pilot, how are you, my friend? I am doing extremely well, my friend. Thank you for asking, and thanks for being here tonight. No pizza, no Larry. Hello there, my friend. Welcome. Tolis is working on an A340. Yeah, that's how I got mixed up. That's exactly right. Yeah. So yeah, I'm quite excited. There's a lot going on in the flight sim community, and each company or each platform is bringing about more updates for us to enjoy, and just really, it's a really good time for flight simulation for all of us hobbyists out there, and for real-world pilots. It's flight simulation is a great training tool. As a matter of fact, a good friend of mine is a type-rated 777 pilot. He does a lot of research for United Airlines, and he actually told me that in order to keep his license current, he has to fly in a simulator when an aircraft is not available. So this guy, of course, is a PhD guy, so he's not a pilot. He's not a commercial pilot, but he's hired by the airline to do some research for them on pilot behavior and what happens to the pilot during really long flights, and things like that. So obviously he has to keep his rating valid all the time. Right, we are closing into Seattle now, and we can, there we go, you can see here if we bring up again here, you can see we're not too far now from Seattle. We are going to go ahead and set the frequency. So that's the nav frequency. You can see now we have the identification, India Sierra November Quebec for this frequency, which is the ILS frequency for runway 16 left at Seattle, and that's where we're heading right now. Right. So we're not too far now from Seattle, and we should be there. Of course, we're going to switch to nav, and we're going to select approach here, and we're going to really put the autopilot to the test today and see how it works. I prefer this aircraft
Seattle
with the
Piper Juliet Foxtrot 2575. Request clearance to transition Bravo airspace.
Yep, that's a clearance from ATC.
2575 Seattle approach. Cleared through the Bravo airspace.
All right, we know we're close now.
Bravo airspace Piper 575.
Alrighty. Lewis, my first GA flight was on a Piper 28-181 Aero 2, great aircraft. The Pipers are great aircrafts, all in all. They're very well-made aircraft, they're very reliable, and I personally like Pipers. When I am in the UK for vacation, I normally charter Pipers. The last time was a Piper 28. I can't remember what it was. I'm not sure. I think it was an Aero. We flew from Elstree Aerodrome in the United Kingdom It was really a fun time, and the instructor was a really fine chap. We flew in very close proximity to London Heathrow. We were able actually to see the aircraft landing, the big ones, the Airbuses, you know, heading over to Gatwick and to London Heathrow. And so we were flying in that vicinity. It was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed it. I did all the takeoff, landings, all of that. So it was a lot of fun. And I will tell you guys, flight simulation does teach you a lot. But the thing is, when you fly airliners a lot in the simulator, then you start developing habits. By the way, we're getting close now, so I can see the runway right there. You actually develop habits by, you know, and that habit is really looking at the instruments all the time. Whereas in VFR flying and flying GA aircraft, what you need to do is keep scanning outside the aircraft. So you need to, you know, keep scanning for other aircraft, you know, keep, you know, doing this, look over here, look over there, look the other side. You know, ask your co-pilot if he's with you to also scan the area and keep each other informed as to, you know, what's going on, if there are any aircraft in the vicinity and what have you. So what we're going to do now, we are going to switch this to VLOC and approach. And we're going to begin our descent. We need to disable alt hold. And we're going to descend at about 15 or 500 feet per minute or so. The runway is right ahead of us. The visibility isn't perfect as we go through, you know, some clouds here. All right, let's check the approach course is 164. All right, 164 is set.
Seattle Tower, Piper Juliet, Foxtrot, 2575 is 11 miles north, 2,800.
And that's the runway ahead of us now. Steve Ellis, hello there, my friend. Welcome to the VVIP membership here at the Kuwait Pilot Channel. Thank you very much, my friend, for your support. Really appreciate it. Right, we're looking good, folks. Almost on the glide slope. We are on the localizer.
Cleared to land runway 16 left, Piper 575.
Right, that's our landing clearance.
Clear to land runway 16 left number 2 Horizon Air 2423.
Folks, look at that. Beautiful, beautiful scene here. And if you've ever been into the Seattle area, this is A true rendition of Seattle. Looks very much like Seattle indeed. Right, let's bring back the yoke. We're looking good on the localizer and on the glide slope. We're going to increase our rate of descent. And we're going to disengage the autopilot momentarily and hand fly the approach into Seattle. Runway 16 left. Just really very immersive aircraft. Great fun to fly. And as of course this is a preview copy supplied to me by Just Flight, whom I thank very much for really being very gracious and offering, you know, preview copies of their aircraft for me to showcase. But I tell you, this aircraft is definitely one that I would get. By the way, after the previews, I purchased all the aircraft that I review on the channel, all of them. One is, you know, I believe in supporting the developers. So that's one thing I definitely like to do. We are a bit too high, so I'm going to increase our rate of descent and ease off on the throttle a little bit. And as soon as we get the glide slope needle to correct itself, then we're going to disengage the autopilot and hand fly the aircraft. We're okay. I mean, it's a GA aircraft, so we're coming in, you know, slow. Absolutely, Stan. The aircraft is really very detailed. And, of course, they've done a great job, the team at Just Fly. Of course, within the limitations of the sim. But definitely they've done a great job, really. Right, we're going to start reducing our speed now. I hate it when it does this. Still, Microsoft Flight Simulator, as I approach big airports, you know, start doing this, you know, flickering and jittering and stuttering and all the bad stuff. Hopefully it won't be too bad now. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and take over. Alright, autopilot is turned off and my aircraft. Right, and flaps, first degree flaps. We are a bit too high, but we can very easily correct ourselves with a GA aircraft. A little bit of turbulence here as we come into land. Actually, a lot of turbulence, if you ask me. All right, we are gonna maintain about 70 knots or so for our landing. We're still looking good, I think. And I tell you, I love coming into Seattle. The airport is just outstanding. And the entire area is so well rendered in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'm getting a lot of turbulence here, folks. All right, flaps full. That should help us reduce our speed. A little bit of crosswind there. That wasn't a very good landing, But nonetheless, we made it safely here into Seattle, Tacoma International. Woohoo! There are definitely some heavies out there. Just landed here. All right, let's go ahead and exit.
75. You were not cleared to land. Clear the runway.
All right, there we go. Ooh,
Piper 5.
wow.
75 contact ground on 121.7.
Let's see here. Let's see if we can find a spot
Going to
somewhere
121.7 Piper 575.
back there. Yeah, definitely some turbulence there as we came into land. Getting some funny things on my streaming software, but I guess it's fine. Yeah, I got carried away. I was looking at the screen, but it looks like it's okay. All right, here we go. My Streamlabs OBS has been giving me some issues lately. But yeah, I think guys, this aircraft, the Just Flight fleet of aircraft is an excellent choice, along with the Aerosoft CRJ, and of course the PMDG DC-6. I think those are really the greatest aircraft right now, as of this date, for Microsoft Flight Simulator. All right, we're gonna just bring the aircraft and park it here. All right. Parking brake is set. And we need to turn off the avionics. Avionics turned off. Can turn all of these off and kill the mixture. And now we can turn off the battery and alternator. And magnetos to off. And we can bring back the equipment here, chocks, tie down, and that's it. We can open the aircraft door and exit the aircraft. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The Piper 28161 Warrior 2 by Just Flight. An amazing aircraft, really just like all the other three. The fleet by Just Flight is really well worth the investment in my view. Now, I've received a few questions from a lot of you guys asking me which one should I pick? Should I pick the Piper Arrow 3, the Piper Turbo Arrow, or the Warrior 2? Now, for all intended purposes, those aircraft have very little differences. So, for example, the first two have got they have the retractable landing gear. This aircraft doesn't. But it really becomes a matter of personal preference. In terms of performance, there are subtle differences between all three models. Personally, I prefer this aircraft, so the Warrior 2 over the Arrow and the Turbo Arrow. There's no specific reason. I just like this aircraft. I like the fact that it does not have a retractable landing gear. Something a little different from the feel of a complex aircraft. So very classic in that sense. And so I prefer this model over the other sister models. Well, folks, this is pretty much what I wanted to share with you in this live stream. I hope that you've enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed streaming it live for you. And tomorrow evening, Kuwait time, at 1800 Zulu hours, I will be streaming the Flight Factor Boeing 767-SF. It's going to be a UPS flight, and it's going to be a real-world route from Kilo Lima Alpha November to Kilo Oscar Romeo Delta, which is Chicago O'Hare International. Until then, please take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks for tuning in, and bye-bye for now.